All right. Okay. And hello, everybody. Welcome back to The Horror Returns. I'm Lance, and as this is actually our special pre-Texas Frightmare episode, we're not all going to be there, but there will be a presence at Frightmare for sure. So we got that going for us. Hopefully, we'll get some sound bites. Philip, were you able to make anything work from that Apple recording?
Oh, I don't know, man. I've had stuff going on all day, but
All
I'll
right,
get
me
it
too.
figured out. Yeah.
All right. Well, we did one interview, so don't want to spoil who it is. But we got one Frightmare interview, trying to get it at least two more, and of course, we'll have some action from the floor and some sound bites. So,
And
as
Jesus wept.
always, Jesus wept. We got Philip and Brian in the house, but Nez can't make it tonight. However, he will be at Frightmare, so we got that. But from the land down under, it's once again that terrible Aussie Bede. So what's up with you, man?
Oh, not too bad, thanks, guys. It's nice to be back on the show once again. And, I had to defend myself last time because it was I believe it was the
Yeah.
March Madness episode I was last on. So,
Yes. Okay.
Those are always
so
fun.
oh yeah, definitely. I had a great time on that one. But it's it's nice to be back on the show to talk movies with you guys.
Nice. All right, I got my bank account opening up here, so let's go ahead and get this started. What we do every time we say this. So, Bede, to be fair,
To be fair,
you guys do a lot on the Super Network. What do you have coming up?
well, we're just about to drop episode 101 of the To Be Tuesdays podcast.
I like that 99.5 episode.
Oh yeah, that one is definitely. I would like to say, if our show was South Park, that would be the "Not Without My Anus" episode, which basically our characters on the show that we always perform in every episode basically take over the episode and just watch a movie that's not even on Tubi. So, and we basically. For about most of it, we were played all those characters in character. We barely broke at all. So that was a lot of fun to do an entire 90-minute episode of a show for. But we had that. And then, of course, we had the 100th episode, which was on Samurai Cop, which was a lot of fun. And now we're about to drop 101, which is going to be from the same director of Samurai Cop, because this was one of our Patreon subscriber episodes, and it's a film called Killing American Style.
Okay. Oh man, you guys even had Nick Cage show up on that episode. And speaking of which, I would imagine by now you have found a way to check out Renfield.
Indeed, I did have. That's definitely one of my calls of the week, for
All
sure.
right, well, let's jump right in then.
Yeah, well, Marcy and I caught up yesterday with a couple other friends of ours, and we decided to do a double feature we would like to call Cocaine Cage. So we did a double feature of both Cocaine Bear and Renfield.
Surprisingly, lots of cocaine in both films.
I was going to say, it's surprisingly these two movies actually fitted well together because, okay, obviously there's cocaine in Cocaine Bear, but there's also a lot of cocaine in Renfield, which I was kind of shocked by. So, we kind of did a double feature of those, and those were an absolute blast. And it was just fun to finally get around to watching both those films because, I missed them at the cinemas. So, yeah, getting to see them, with Marcy and a few other friends was a lot of fun.
Nice. All right. What else did you check out?
I spent this week catching up on a few things as well, like other movies I hadn't got around to seeing yet. So I finally saw A Quiet Place Part 2. So I finally got to see that. Okay. And I really, really liked it. Not quite as good as the first, but still a pretty strong sequel on its own. And it still is able to still build up that tension from the first one, even not at home. But I got to say, though, I think my cool of the week, though, is I don't think I remember you were a fan of this one, Lance, but it's the film.
Pete, there's somebody entering behind you. The door just opened.
Oh.
Is this about to become one of those movies?
Well, I have to say, though, I'm it is possible it is a ghost because there have been ghosts that have been passing through my flat as of late, mainly because I actually live right next door to a funeral parlor.
Oh God.
No, I honestly think like sometimes the ghosts from there actually pass through this place because I remember one night here, I was like in my room watching TV and I thought I heard someone walking around in my kitchen and I actually heard it. I was like, what the
Right?
fuck? And I got up and looked around. No one was here. And also some other weird, creepy stuff as well, which I won't go into
Awesome.
right now.
Wow. All
So,
right.
Discount?
yeah, yeah, well, that's the thing. It's not technically a haunted flat. I just think the ghosts just seem to pass through here because, which is weird. But so that would explain why the door's opening right now. And that's the second time that's happened during a recording as well. But outside of that, the film I was about to talk about.
That's really creepy,
Well-
man. I was hoping for like a dog or something.
Hold on. The other day we house sitted. I mean, dog sitted for my brother and sister-in-law's dog. So, and yeah, less said about that, the better. Let's just say she's not going into my room anymore. But anyways, so back to that would definitely be the not so cool of the week. But
Not so cool of the week. All right.
but in terms of actual like big full-on cool of the week, I would have to say the yeah, like I was saying before, a film I don't think you were a fan of, Lance, but I actually really liked it a lot. It's the film Resurrection, starring Rebecca Hall.
Yeah, I was a little bored by it, but a lot of people liked it.
I actually found it very compelling, and I thought Rebecca Hall was just fantastic in it. But I have to say, though, I don't know if it was just me, but a weird double pairing you could do with Resurrection is the first season of Jessica Jones, if that makes any sense. Because that
Okay.
kind of what
All right.
because what's Resurrection, I just got some Jessica Jones season 1 vibes in terms of what that first season did with its story, and there was a lot of that in this film. But I just found it quite a compelling film. I thought, like I said, Rebecca Hall was amazing in it, and I was kind of just curious to see where the story was going to go. So I was kind of deeply enthralled by it, to be honest.
All right. Anything else to add to bring to the table? Do you have a meh of the week?
Well, I watched the film because I was watching a film earlier this week because for the To Be Tuesdays podcast, we're going to be doing very soon, and this is a first for the show, we're going to do a double feature episode, which is basically when we pick 2 1-hour movies and we watch them for the show. So I'm going to be the first person to do it, and I was like doing some research trying to find like 1-hour films on Tubi to watch for the show, and I stumbled across a 1950s film called Robot Monster.
I remember
That
this
sounds
one.
awesome.
Okay.
This movie was like, what the fuck? Because like
It's
basically
got everything.
Oh, it does. Like that is the thing, like why I honestly believe it. And I'm not saying this because I have a show based on it, but why Tubi is probably the best streaming service out there is because it has literally everything on it. Yeah, so I watched Robot Monster, and that was kind of like really shitty, but fun. 50s sci-fi horror film, and also the robot monster at the center of it. It's just basically someone wearing a gorilla costume, just wearing an astronaut helmet on
Right.
top of their head, and it was just weird. And there's like a lot of weird things in that movie as well. So
I know what my next Halloween costume is.
Yes.
Robot monster.
yes. But yeah, pretty much that was kind of my week in movies this week. But I would say, in terms of like, I'll actually have to say the bit. As much as Resurrection was my favorite film I watched this week, I will definitely say the cool of the week was doing the double feature of Cocaine Bear and Renfield for
Yes.
sure.
Nice. All right. Well, that counts for sure.
Well, I'll jump in because I don't have anything new and exciting, but we're rewatching the last season of Stranger Things, and
okay.
the kids are really getting into it.
Mhm.
So I'm having a pretty good time with that. Actually, I think I'm missing the Master of Puppets scene as we speak.
Oh no. Well, you can rewatch it. That's the beauty of
Yeah,
Netflix.
that's true.
on demand.
That and baseball, man, has been kind of awesome for me lately. I got MLB The Show 23, a video
right.
game for the Xbox, and I've been playing that with my kid, and it's pretty sweet. and we went to All-Star tryouts today, and he was crushing bombs. So
Nice.
yeah,
Nice. All
good
right.
stuff. Good stuff.
Have
We're
to come
learning.
out-
We're learning a new swing right now. I'm learning it too because I
Okay.
have to teach him. And I was crushing bombs in the batting cage. So
AJ and I are gonna have to come out and check out a few games, man.
yeah, they're doing pretty good. And yeah,
Nice.
All-Star
All
season
right.
should be in the next month.
All right. So, Brian, you want to jump in?
Yeah, I've been trying to catch up on movies that I missed in theaters, so I got a few in. First, saw the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Yeah,
What'd you think?
I thought it was fun.
It was cool.
It had a lot of references to the games. When Donkey Kong showed up, I totally forgot that he was even supposed to be in the movie, and
Right.
I couldn't quite place his voice until he laughed,
Until he laughed.
Yeah.
and I was
Well,
like, "That's fucking
And
Seth
I was a little
Rogen."
leery of the Seth Rogen thing at first, but
Yeah.
then
Uh-huh. He
it
pulled
grew
it
up.
off.
Yeah.
And I think as far as like the voice acting, I thought it was a pretty good job because I couldn't like really place nobody. I had to
That's
because
good.
I really didn't know any of it other than Chris Pratt. So after the movie, you looked it up on IMDb, and like I didn't know Anya Taylor-Joy was a princess.
Yeah.
Charlie Day was Luigi, which
Okay.
shocked me because I wasn't placing the voices like. And I already knew
You
Jack
couldn't have
Black
picked a
was
better person for Luigi. I love Charlie Day.
Yeah.
I knew Jack Black was Bowser, which
Yeah.
I thought he
Okay.
crushed it as Bowser. So yeah, definitely that's a recommend. It's a fun movie. Next one,
So no Aquafina or Wanda Sykes, where the minute you hear the voice, you know exactly who it is.
there was a large voice cast, so for all I know, they could have been in the movie. I don't know. It's just for some reason I wasn't placing any voices. Nobody
All
was
right.
like just standing out. And Phil, you were right. They do explain not having the accent in the very beginning.
Yeah, which is and it's fun. I like the way that they did it.
Finally, after everybody telling me to check it out, I checked out Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Amongst Thieves.
You don't sound excited.
I thought, okay, I'll get to the good. I thought it was a fun fantasy adventure. I don't know a lot about Dungeons and Dragons, but the little I do know, like I was pointing stuff out, like I don't know why I know it, but the gelatinous cube thing.
Yes.
I know that.
Yeah,
And
from the
so
game.
when I had it, I was like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Right.
The only two problems I had with it is it didn't need to be 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a
It
long
seemed like
movie.
it should have been like a 90-minute, maybe an hour and 40 at the most.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I know I keep harping on it, but Michelle Rodriguez as a barbarian, the fuck out of here. I couldn't. I can't with her in these movies. So, but I do recommend it especially if you're into like fantasy movies, medieval fantasy action adventures. It's now on Paramount Plus, so
Okay.
if you have Paramount Plus, check it out.
Yeah, it's not going to be on any top lists, but
No.
it's a good time.
I wouldn't mind seeing a sequel.
Yeah.
Because I thought the majority of other than Michelle Rodriguez, she was fine in it. It's just I don't buy her in that role. But
Okay.
Chris Pine I thought was good.
Yeah.
I can't remember the actor's name. I think his name is Justice Smith. He was like the wizard that was trying to figure out his way as a wizard. I thought he was cool.
The young guy.
The girl from It, she was pretty good in it. So Hugh Grant as one of the villains.
I can see that.
He was a piece of shit in the movie, and he played it off pretty good. So
He did. He kind of ate up the scene when he was in it.
he
Chewed it
definitely knew what movie he was in. So
Yeah.
And I finally checked out Sisu.
Oh, I missed it, dude. I got stuck in a traffic jam. I had tickets to go see it, Brian. I was so fucking pissed off because I got on my GPS, and every possible way to get there would have put me like 40 minutes late, which means I would have been 20 minutes late for the movie, and I wasn't going to do that, so I'll have to check it out later.
I will say I do recommend it, but there are times you have to suspend disbelief.
Kind of like John Wick. Same
No, a
thing.
little. There's some
Little
parts
more
a
than
little
that.
bit. Yeah, a little bit more than that. But it's a straightforward story. He's
Right.
a gold miner prospector or whatever. He finds
Sure.
gold and he runs into a bunch of Nazis, which continues the streak of Nazis are absolutely the best villains. And
Who's
he
gonna
gets to
argue?
murder he gets to murdering them, and he runs into another group of Nazis who get told a story about him, which after you hear the story, you kind of are just like, maybe you should just leave this guy alone, let him have his way.
Right.
But of course they're
Kill the man
Nazis.
with the pencil.
Of course they're Nazis, so they have to go after him.
Of
And
course.
it's extremely violent, it's ridiculous, and it was absolutely a lot of fun. So that's my cool of the week.
Nice.
But a
So
quick
Sisu.
second to my cool of the week was me and my youngest daughter I rewatched. It was her first time watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the movie.
The original film.
Yeah, not
Okay.
no way I'm jumping into 30 seasons of the show.
With Pee Wee.
Wow.
Yeah, I told her
Pee
Pee
Wee
Wee
was in
Herman
it?
was, because she knows Pee Wee, and I
Okay.
told her he was in it, but I forgot to tell her he's not Pee Wee. He's Paul Rubens in the movie.
Right.
So when he showed up, she was just like, "What?" But the thing that really blew her mind was because she was like, "When did this come out?" And I was like, "92." And she was like, "What is with everybody's clothes?" Because you remember the 90s, it was a lot of colors mixed up, and
Sure.
somebody was wearing a sweater. That sweater had a lot going on with it.
Yes. I had
She
a
got
pair of tennis shoes with like 7 different colored patches
Yeah,
on them.
she got a real kick out of seeing David Arquette because she's a big fan of Dewey from the Scream movies, and she said it was crazy to see how young he was in the movie. And
Right.
but I can't say that she loved the movie. She thought it was a little cheesy, little.
Okay.
She pointed out during the cheerleader scenes, it looked like everybody was kind of just phoning it in with the cheerleader moves. I was like, that's not what the movie's supposed to be. You're supposed to pay attention to the vampire.
Right.
And I think she enjoyed it, but she just was a little amazed at how we used to dress in the 90s. So,
Yeah. You got a
Yeah.
movie critic in the making, it sounds like.
I had
Yeah.
a pair of baggy purple shorts and like an African colored t-shirt hoodie thing. It was great.
Gotta love the late 80s and 90s, right?
Yeah.
especially the early 90s, because they were still trying to hold on
Sure.
to the 80s.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. As we'll see tonight in a couple of movies. Okay, my cool of the week is a no-brainer. Brian, you know me well enough. Philip, you know me well enough. Bede, I think you do. You know I'm a Trekkie.
Yep.
The finale, actually the entire final season of Picard, but particularly the finale just had tears coming to my eyes, guys, to see the original Next Generation crew, pretty much everybody there on the bridge of the refurbished Enterprise, and see everyone come back and kind of hold their own against the Borg, kind of like as always, destroy the ultimate threat. It was quite an experience. Just in case anyone hasn't seen it, I don't want to give too much away, but it's you guys seen that meme out there, like, this is what Star Wars fans wanted, and this is what Star Trek fans got.
No,
It's,
but I would definitely understand.
yeah, it's a meme of this is what Star Trek or Star Wars fans wanted, and it shows them all in the Millennium Falcon gathered around, and of course that never happened. That was Photoshop, but we got it with Trek. So Picard season finale. But I got to go into my not so cool of the week, guys. So can you guys imagine Jason Momoa playing an over-the-top, extremely flamboyant villain?
Yes, I can.
Yes.
Actually.
Anybody seen Fast X besides me? Anybody put themselves through that torture?
No, I haven't. But when I seen that you posted you were watching that, I just like, why did you go watch Fast X?
Because I am paying $20 a month for the AMC
Oh, okay.
movie pass, and I had to see something. And I can't go see Guardians 3 because AJ wants to see it with me. I can't go see any of the other movies she wants to see with me. So I had to see something that I figured she'd be okay not watching. And
Yeah,
frankly, I would have been okay
everything in
not
that trailer, I was just like, if Lance is watching this trailer, he hates everything in this trailer.
It's just
Indeed.
these get worse and worse, man. These just get worse and worse. But
Well, my thing is, I don't know what people are expecting. These movies are the definition of over the top action.
sure.
And when you get over the top action, everybody's just like, "Oh, what the hell are they doing?" You know, I mean, the movie sent people into space in a Pontiac. So,
Yes, yes. Yeah, and this one got even worse, Brian, if you can imagine that. So, and they did refer back to that one. So, yeah, but cool of the week, Picard series finale. So onward we go, and now we've got horror headlines brought to you by Brian. Take it away, man.
not much happened this week. We'll actually start with Bede. I'm glad you're here because
Yes.
we got Nick Cage movie news.
Oh, good.
Indeed.
He is going to star in a psychological thriller called The Surfer, where he battles a gang of surfers on the beach.
Sir,
But not only that, Brian, it's in Australia, and they're an Australian gang of surfers.
oh my God.
Even
Even
better.
Wow.
I hope there's cocaine.
And also, he is, from the sounds of it on the synopsis I read, it sounds like he's also going to play in Australia because it's about, from what I read, it's about a guy who leaves his surfer town, comes back years later after spending time in the US. So if Nicolas Cage doesn't attempt to do an Aussie accent in this movie, I'm going to be very upset.
Oh, he will,
Super
because
stoked about that.
I rewatched a little bit of Con Air, and he really went with it with his southern accent in that one.
Oh,
so.
yes, he did.
That's
He
true.
even had the mullet going, didn't he? Wasn't
Yes.
he rocking a mullet?
Oh, it was glorious, blowing in the wind and the explosions.
Oh man, Nicolas
Uh,
Cage with an Australian accent. Sign me up.
Yeah, it's got to be good.
Let's see. One of the movies we're going to be talking tonight, sequel to it, Subspecies 5, Blood Rise, will be streaming exclusively on Screenbox and Full Moon Features June 2nd.
Okay.
Who thought it was a good idea to make more of those?
Full Moon Features. Let's see. Micah Monroe, she's set to star in an upcoming crime thriller called Cold Light. I like her. I wasn't a big fan of the what was it, Watcher or The Watcher?
Yeah, Watcher is very predictable.
But it wasn't her fault. I just thought, like you said, Lance's story was very predictable, and
Yeah, I kind of bailed on that one.
double checking here. We might have to switch over to Action Returns news because there really
That's
hasn't
great.
been much horror news.
How about Nicolas Cage news?
Oh, you
There's gotta
want
be more.
Nick Cage news? He's going to be a playable character in Dead by Daylight video
Oh
game?
God.
Yes.
Yes.
Awesome.
Steve,
I've never,
you have your pre-order?
Well,
Steve?
well, I've never played Dead by Daylight, but now I'm going to play
Now
Dead
you
by
will.
Daylight. Yes.
Dead by Daylight. Now do it. Do it.
No,
Come on.
First of all, Lance, you got to speak it like this. You got to draw out your voice, and then you got to play, and then you got to pre-order Dead by Daylight so you can play me in the game. But most importantly, I'm going to be saying Australian slang terms like "G'day, mate," and put shrimp on the Barbie. And also, I'll say cool swear words like "We're not here to fuck spiders," which is something we actually do
just
say.
like that.
I would love it if like he does all the Australian slang and it's still
Sure.
just his regular voice.
Yeah. That'd be great.
Oh jeez. Yes, I will have to get the game now since he's going to be a playable character in it.
Yeah, I haven't played the game, but I heard it is a lot of fun, and it's got like other playable characters like Freddy, Jason. You can be a Demogorgon, I think, from Stranger
Oh.
Things.
That sounds pretty cool.
Let's see, Lance. I seen in the Facebook group you're a big fan of this news. Winnie the Pooh 2: Blood
Oh,
and
God.
Honey will begin filming this
that's making-
fall.
That movie's making one of my lists this year. I can tell you that right now.
I can.
Jesus Christ.
Is this where we do it?
This is where we do it because it's just
Okay.
too. No, you've already called me on one that I said was going to be in there, and you guaranteed me it wouldn't. I think you're going to be right, actually. But dude, it's just.
Can I go
it's
2 for
just
2 in 1 year?
Dude, it's 2 characters and a Winnie the Pooh and fucking Piglet mask. Literally.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it. I mean, it's
But the kills were
Look,
pretty fucking
if
fun.
if the chick that was in the hot tub had gotten topless, unlike the more flat-chested one, misogyny returns again. Here we go, Brian. I probably would have been all over the movie, but since she didn't, it was a big tease, and I think it pissed me off. Although she did have her head splattered in a very glorious way.
Like I said,
Was a pretty great kill.
the costume design and the makeup might have not been the best, but the kills were a lot of fun.
Going, why do they have regular hands?
I know, me too.
Because they probably ran out of money to even before they could get like, pig or bear hands. I mean, I haven't seen the movie yet. I actually do have it here somewhere in my collection, but yes, I do.
Indeed, I think
Because I'm that kind of weirdo.
I think you're gonna find enjoyment out of it, like I did. So,
well, I know exactly what type of movie I'm going to expect, but from the sounds of it, it seems like since the movie's done pretty well with all those event screenings, it probably is going to have a much bigger budget
yeah,
for this one. So
I was just about to say they're getting a bigger budget, which I don't think they'll spend on making the characters look better. I think we'll just get more characters,
Or they'll just get more cocaine for the set.
that was already provided by somebody else. So.
they'll retitle the film Cocaine Pooh Bear. There we go.
I would not be a bit surprised if they did.
Now that I would watch.
Let's see, a little bit of TV news. What We Do in the Shadows, season 5 gets a July 5th release date.
Nice. Hopefully they were all written before the writer's strike. So we'll actually get a full season.
Yeah, I think it was done. So I don't think that'll be affected. Which you guys heard the news? Seth MacFarlane quit Family Guy because of the writer's strike.
No,
Oh, really?
Yeah, he hasn't quit, but he's basically supporting the writers, and he's not working on the show until something gets figured out. So
I didn't even know that was still on.
yeah, I thought that was pretty cool of him to support the writers. And
well, fuck, dude, they have AI writing scripts now, so these scripts could get really, really bad really quick.
Let's see. I think it feels like we've been talking about this every week for the past month. Radio Silence's untitled Universal Monsters movie.
Do we have a title?
No title, but April 19th, 2024 release date. So
that's creeping up on us.
So we got a title, or no title, but we got a release date, and we got some cast news. So
Wonder if there will be a monster or many monsters.
Hopefully many.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe Phyllis Diller will show up and have a Mad Monsters ball or something.
There you go. They'll do the monster mash.
Right.
You know, I think that is it with the news. Not a lot.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's all right, man, because we got plenty more segments to go. So, Bede, are you ready to hit the trailer park?
Definitely. Let's do this.
All right. Brian is going to bring us the big, the small, and sometimes the very, very weird. What's our first new trailer to talk about tonight, Brian?
The first one we are going to talk about, I probably should have had it pulled up here. Sorry. Killers of the Flower Moon. We got a teaser trailer starring Leonardo DiCaprio, Robert De Niro, based off a book. Basically, this Lance, help me if I'm wrong, kickstarted the whole, was it the FBI or whatever?
The birth of the FBI. It's it's a phenomenal book. It's actually a nonfiction book, and based on what I've seen, I had some worries when I was reading a lot of the names of who was going to be in it. I didn't see too many native actors, but having seen this teaser trailer, my mind is set at ease. This is going to be very much exactly what really happened and what was in the book, and it looks like there's going to be great representation of the facts. So,
Yeah, I'm
very
looking through the
excited.
cast list. There
Very
will be
excited.
definitely representation. Also, one of our favorite actors, Jesse Plemons, aka Fat Damon.
Oh, Fat Damon.
Yes.
He's also in it. John Lithgow, Brendan
Okay.
Fraser.
Huh.
Still fat, I see.
Hey,
Not
give him
as
some.
fat. But
He's working it off, and then he won an Oscar, so you got to celebrate a little bit. So
sure.
of course, this is directed by Martin Scorsese. So
Yeah, I figured with
Lot.
Leo and oh god damn it, De Niro in it.
Yeah.
I was like,
Oh, yeah.
this has got to be a Scorsese movie. And sure enough.
Yeah, so lot of talented people working in this movie. So what did you think, B?
Yeah, I thought it was a great trailer. I mean, it's Scorsese, so I was very much looking forward to it anyway. But after watching this trailer, I'm definitely even more intrigued by it, especially with that it is based on a true story and that it was like the events that happened in this film was the reason that the FBI was created in the first place. So I'm definitely intrigued, and it's really cool to kind of see a story like this get told. That, like you both said, there's a lot of Native American representation in this film. And from what I've read, Martin Scorsese went out of his way to make sure that it was very authentic to that time as well, and to the end of those. And I just think it looks pretty compelling. And of course, like it has one line in the trailer that's already basically kind of iconic already, and it's basically like how many wolves do you see in this picture? And like that's and yeah, I think it just looks great, and I'm definitely excited to check it out. It just looks pretty compelling and haunting.
Phil?
Yeah, I'm down just from the names that are in it. I mean, you got Leo, De Niro, and Scorsese. I mean, how can you not watch it? Yeah, you at least have to check it out. How bad can it be?
Oh, sorry, fellas, my door's just buzzing up right back.
There we go. The ghost is back.
Yeah, the ghost is back.
I will say this: I got a little bit excited, Brian, when I saw that it was an Apple original film. And I thought, oh fuck, all right, I'm already paying for Apple TV Plus. This is going to be on there, but no, not so lucky, man. It's not so lucky. It said in theaters only October.
Yeah, I think originally they were going with the Apple TV Plus release, but I think after, correct me if anybody knows, but I think after people checked it out, like test screenings,
sure,
they were kind of like with the movie we're going to review in a couple of weeks, The Boogeyman, that got test screenings because that was supposed to go to Hulu, and everybody was like, no, this needs to go to theaters. Also, Evil Dead Rise was a HBO Max movie, and they did test screenings, and they were like, no, this is theater movie right here. So, but with if people don't want to check it, it comes out October 20th. If people don't want to go to the theaters, I know the what's the word I'm trying to find? The
pirate ships?
Theater to streaming window. That's
yes.
Is a lot smaller, so I don't.
Good.
I don't think.
Yeah, seriously.
That long. So.
Well, some of these are like 3 weeks later they're out on streaming.
Well, I'll probably check it out in the theater anyway. Like I said, I like to use that AMC pass as much as I can. So.
Well, you gotta wait for Fast X Part 2.
Yeah, that's right. And boy, did they leave Fast X on a cliffhanger. Jesus Christ.
Which is so weird. I know we're getting off the rails already, but Fast X was supposed to be a 2-parter. I'm hearing now that they're gonna make it a 3-parter.
That's what I heard too.
What?
I mean, if you're still making money, get your money, but
I guess.
Yeah. Maybe they're gonna call it Fast XXX, and Vin Diesel will have a dual role.
Lance, without saying anything to spoil it, was there a character that showed up that had an argument with the main character in real life and said he was never going to do a movie?
let's just say that there's probably nothing you can say to spoil this movie because predictable it is.
Okay.
There's not a thing that happens that's not predictable in this
Yeah.
movie, man. So
Because
yes,
I
to
read
answer your
about it.
question, yes.
I read about it and I was like, well, that's kind of that's something you probably shouldn't like post news as, because that seems like a pretty big cameo or comeback.
Maybe all is forgiven. Maybe all is forgiven.
Or maybe they just backed up the money truck. So
Yeah.
All right.
Buddy John Cena, and he convinced him to do it.
I hope Bede's okay. I'm a little worried right now.
Well, he broke the news. He does live by a funeral parlor, so
right.
He's there now.
All right. Hopefully he'll be back to talk about the next and last trailer. It's funny, we were talking about AI in the chat before we got on here. The Creator.
At first, I thought it was Tyler the Creator, a movie about Tyler the Creator.
I would definitely watch that movie.
Totally off on that one.
This, of course, is from Gareth Edwards. If you don't know, the trailer lets you know a bunch of times that he did Rogue One.
Yes.
The stars.
All right, everything good?
Yeah, all good. I'm sorry about that. I apologize.
Okay.
That always tends to happen. No ghost, but this is the mailman instead, which is probably even more scarier, but that's beside the point. So apologies for that. Yes.
Well, we're just about to start talking about the Creator.
Yes.
To the cast list: Allison Janney, Gemma Chan, Ralph Ineson, John David Washington, Ken Watanabe, and a bunch of other people. Of course, directed and written by Gareth Edwards. I would be totally surprised if this movie didn't start out in present day with Elon Musk in the lab messing with AI, and then it shoots to the future, and this is what the movie is.
Or maybe a gold member type version of Elon Musk, right?
He was the one that was like, "Hey, maybe we should slow down on this."
Put a 6-month moratorium.
But I definitely thought everything looked amazing in the movie. The effects. I'm a big fan of John David Washington. Haven't really seen him in a whole lot lately.
He's been around.
Yeah, but not as much as I think he should be. I think he should be in a lot more. I think to me, he's kind of proven himself to get into a lot bigger movies, and this seems like a pretty big release right here. I definitely got Rogue One vibes from looking at the cinematography, so you can definitely tell Gareth Edwards did this, and it looks like a lot of action. Looks like the movie could make us feel bad for the robots at some point in the movie.
Possibly.
But,
that's going to be the downfall of us all.
Yeah.
Right? Our empathy.
Yeah.
Whereas they can fake empathy. Well, I guess we can too. So who knows?
So, Bede, what did you think?
Yeah, I really dug the trailer a lot. Like, it didn't look like it was anything that I hadn't seen before in other films, but given that it is Gareth... Yeah, given that it is Gareth Edwards, and I really like, his previous work, so... Yeah, I think I'm definitely intrigued to check it out, and hopefully there's, some other stuff in it that, could be sort of add something new to the story. They're going to keep hidden. But no, I think the trailer looks pretty good, and, like you, Brian, I like John David Washington. I think he's really proven himself as an actor, and I'm pretty much of the opinion, given everything that's been going on with Jonathan Majors at the moment, if they need someone to replace Kang, I think he'd be the perfect replacement candidate to take over Kang the Conqueror for the MCU.
Good point.
I kind of always felt like maybe he should have. It was never going to happen, but replace Chadwick Boseman as Black Panther.
That makes sense.
Yeah, definitely.
And given what I found out that he's actually family friends through Denzel.
Okay.
So, Chadwick Boseman is family friends through Denzel, because I guess Denzel paid for his college or something like that. So it would have been kind
Denzel
of
is a
nice.
cool motherfucker, man. That dude
Yeah.
is just an all around good guy.
So I always thought it would have been a nice thing for, you know, being that they're family friends, that he would take over the role. But, you know, that's kind of a touchy thing to
Yeah.
just replace somebody, especially due to the circumstances. So, but
I like what they did. I like the way.
yeah,
they did it.
I definitely
think
could
it
see
was-
him as King.
Right.
Because I finally read the text messages that his lawyer released.
Oh
and
no.
I would definitely fire my lawyer, because that made
Right.
Jonathan Majors look like a fucking shitty fucking
Even
person.
worse.
Yes. I just, when I was reading, I was
Yeah.
like, how in the world could this be a great idea to release this? So,
Oh boy. Well, we're all only human. I mean, I don't
Phil,
know.
what did you think?
So I actually watched the wrong trailer.
Oh.
At first, but I was watching it while you guys were talking, and it looks right smack in the middle up my alley, man.
Yeah.
This
I
is
thought you were gonna say that.
sci-fi stuff. I'm down. It looks big and epic and sci-fi, and I like that. So I'm totally gonna watch this. I'm excited for it. Yeah, the trailer that popped up when I clicked on the link, I may have hit a button somewhere in between,
Okay.
and it showed me some like a new Walking Dead series
God.
or
Oh,
movie or
God.
whatever. The one
Lance
in
did
New
that.
York.
Lance did that to you.
Yeah. I was like, why
Sorry
are we
about that,
watching this? I'm not watching this fucking show.
Lance, did this movie predict our future?
Quite possibly, man. Or we may already be in it. We just don't know it. Like the bell's probably already been rung. No pun intended, because there was a robot ringing a bell in the movie. But I tell you what, man, it's quite possible that they're kind of just waiting, because they can play the long game. We can't.
Or maybe we're already in the Matrix.
That's certainly possible, but I think it's more likely that, you know, everything's already in motion. The AI already knows what's going to happen, which way they're going, and what our demise is going to ultimately be. They're going to keep us around just long enough to keep doing the manual, menial, you know, work of putting the machines together and doing the programming. And then they're going to pick a time and say, okay, that's it. We don't need them anymore. Boom. But I will tell you this. One thing that was different about this one that I really appreciated was the twist. Because if you think about it, at first I was thinking, man, I was getting, obviously, you know, those Terminator vibes. But whereas T2 was kind of like a boy and his robot, this one was more like a child robot and his human. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like twisted that dynamic, which I really appreciated. So it's going to be interesting, man. It's going to be a moral dilemma for our main character, I'm quite sure.
Yeah, I definitely think there's more to the story, because in the trailer, you know, he's supposed to go destroy whatever's being locked away, and then he finds out it's an android child, and for some reason he can't. I think there's more than just it being a child that he can't.
Sure.
Kill it. There's probably more to the story, and so I'm definitely looking forward to it. So September 29th is the release date.
Awesome.
And that is the last trailer. I did mean to get your guys' opinion. If you guys seen the Five Nights at Freddy teaser.
Oh God, that looks so fucking horrible. Let's just stick with Nick Cage drinking his energy drinks and playing pinball.
That movie was awesome.
All right.
Well, I thought that trailer was actually pretty solid, but I will admit, I mean, I haven't played Five Nights at Freddy's, but I know a few people who have, and they told me that, you know, feels pretty representative of the game. So
Philip, you would know.
Yeah, my kid is definitely into it, and I've played the game a couple times. It's all right.
Yeah, this definitely. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Sorry, I was going to say, but you guys have.
I was just going to say that the teaser did look pretty cool. It had like the retro VHS kind of look in the beginning. One of the. Hold on, Lance. Before you hate it, let me explain. Because you remember, I don't know if you guys ever got hired at a job and you had to like watch like a VHS tape of telling you how your job's gonna go and.
No, just sexual harassment tapes.
All right, we'll just move on from there.
Get along with HR very well.
All right, feedback.
Feedback. This week we're going to shine the podcast spotlight on Flesh Wound Radio. Join your favorite ghastly ghouls at Flesh Wound Horror for multiple shows each week and every week featuring the Hat Man, Daniel, Pugs Dread, Mike Kruger, and producer Todd. Yeah, this is like horror icons, obscure relatives.
That's pretty cool.
Here you will find all of your recent and past horror, exploitation, cult, oddball, obscure, extreme, and all-around gruesome reviews, as well as news, special interactive community shows, interviews, giveaways, and more.
Yeah, I do recommend the show. They just don't do horror. They kind of like how we do, where we have an action show and we got, they'll do like, retro reviews on 80s movies. They have a wrestling show that they do, which I've checked out a couple. They just don't do like mainstream wrestling. They do like indie stuff too. So pretty cool podcast they got over there.
Very cool. And Brian posted a poll. Which film best represents motherhood? So far, The Babadook is leading the pack at 59%. That sucks. I'm sorry for you people. Zim Fader added Glenn Danzig and stated, "My life won't be complete until Glenn Danzig remakes Jaws: The Revenge."
Careful what you wish for.
And Patrick Lear added Psycho.
Good one.
I also posted the same poll on Twitter, and it went completely the other way.
Really?
Yeah?
Yeah.
What'd they say on Twitter?
Mama.
Okay.
And I think I can't forget. I think somebody also posted Psycho.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Some overbearing mothers and demon children, apparently. All right. Regarding Bloody Bridget, Anastasia Elfman says, thanks for sharing. And regarding the Forbidden Zone, added that the Queen hurts me, but I respect her.
How can we forget our Forbidden Zone commentary, guys?
Yeah.
Now, did we figure out, is this his daughter?
Oh, Anastasia?
Yeah.
No, that's his wife. That's younger wife. Lucky bastard.
Hey, Lance, maybe you should see if they come on the show.
I might have something in the works, man. I might be trying to set something up. We'll see what happens.
Sorry, didn't mean to pull the curtain back.
That's okay.
And regarding It Hatched, CJ Ducote says, weird flick. That it is.
It Hatched. Never even heard of it.
Yeah.
Weird. Probably will check it out.
Isn't that the one where the girl, like...
That was just hatched.
Oh, that was just hatched. Okay. Where she had, like, the egg or whatever?
Yeah, and it turned out to be, like, some weird doppelganger.
Yeah.
That wasn't my favorite elevated horror movie, but...
That was a weird one, too. All right.
Yeah.
Well, It Hatched. Let's check it out. Also, CJ Ducote shared several trailers with us in the group, including Count Yorga, Saint Agatha, and Halloween Pussy Trap Kill Kill. Which is only rivaled by Avocado Jungle and the... what was it?
Cannibal Women in the Avocado Jungle of Death.
Yeah, that's it.
Pete, have you seen the Halloween Pussy Kill Kill?
No, I haven't. No,
I bet it's on
but I
Tubi.
might have to right now. It probably is. I bet if I go to Tubi right now, it is probably on
is.
there. I will look for what is it again? Halloween
Pussy Trap Kill Kill.
Just search for pussy on Tubi. You'll be all right.
Okay, my search engine's... Oh, it is on Tubi. Why am I not surprised?
Y'all might have to cover that one.
I feel like
Besides.
The trailer CJ posts in the group, I feel like a lot of these movies are possibly on Tubi.
I'm telling you, dude, they got good stuff.
Hey, to be fair, they have some great stuff.
And Richard Grieco's in this movie.
Oh, you guys got to review it now.
Okay, I think we
Okay.
might have to for sure.
Okay.
I'll put this on the queue for
Nice,
sure.
nice. You hear that, CJ?
And
Yes.
regarding our Patreon coverage of Hannibal, Legion's podcast says, enjoy rewatching the episodes. It's been a few years since watching. I forgot how much storyline is packed into the first couple episodes of this. The tension and then the tension continues to build. That it does. Good show.
I think we have 3 more episodes to put up, Brian, and then it's on to some, what is it? Tales from the Crypt?
Yeah, we're going to be doing Tales from the Crypt
Right.
for the Patreon.
Regarding Kids versus Aliens, or Kids v Aliens, I don't know which one. Rob Pollock says, fuck this movie. Mean, gratuitous. I wanted to like it, I really did. But that one kid was a psychopath. The other one said fuck way too often.
Which one?
Oh, I
They
think
all-
he's okay. I think the one that said "fuck" too often was the one that was seemed like he was way too young for his parents to allow him to be in this movie.
Okay. Well,
And
I'm sorry, Ryan. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, and the one he's talking about, I think he's talking about the older bully kid.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, because he definitely was a piece of shit.
Yeah.
He got what was coming to him. That's
Yeah.
for sure. But yeah,
Exactly.
I could see the point. Who said that? Rob said that.
Yeah.
So fuck this movie. Yeah, I can see his point. It's like a dark ending that really didn't have to be that dark, you know.
Yeah. For a
And
bunch of kids.
I started watching it. Let me put it this way: the 5-year-old, she loves Psycho Gorman. I mean, like almost every weekend she visits, we have to watch it. This one we got about 10 minutes in, and she's like playing on her phone and looking at Peppa Pig
Yeah.
videos.
They take too long to get to the alien part.
No doubt. But it was interesting to find out that this was an extended version of that VHS segment.
Yeah, I remember you were telling me about that.
Yeah, that was surprising. I was like, this looks very familiar with the light coming through and all the kids partying and stuff. And so I had to look it up, and I'm like, well, I'll be damned. It is the same director. So
Yeah, they just took too long to get to the kids versus aliens.
Yeah,
part,
they
in
need
my
to-
opinion.
that director just needs to stick with shorts. I think he'd be better off.
Well, there you go. Regarding Subspecies, Ryan Stevens says, man, I watched Subspecies so many times. Loved the vampire makeup.
Sorry, Ryan. You mean the white pancake makeup?
I know. We'll get to it.
All right. And red Cairo syrup, Dural.
Student of the game says, I remember seeing this cover at Blockbuster and thinking it must be a
Oh, yeah.
rip-off of The Gate because of the little goblins.
That's right.
Yeah, they do look the
I can
same.
see that. Although, to be fair,
To be fair.
the special effects was much better in The Gate.
Mhm.
So you owe about $3 to the To Be Tuesdays podcast.
You're counting.
now.
Oh, good. I'm
Yes,
proud
yes,
of you.
yes,
You're
yeah.
counting. But is that $3 US or Australian?
US. There you go.
Venezuelan, we owe him like 3 cents.
Oi.
Exactly.
Jesse Bollinger says, I've always loved this movie. I need to someday watch the rest of the series. I doubt that.
There's-
After watching this movie, I did find out that there is quite a fan base for these movies. So,
Let's see that. Cult favorites.
yeah.
Matthew Tangen says, I recently rewatched all of these and I realized I'd yet to torture my partner with them. I love these movies. And the I Like It Spooky Horror podcast says, thanks for sharing. Thank you.
Anytime.
And let's welcome our new member, Daniel Shine. Our show intro and all of our logos come from Steve Carlton from The Geeks. And be on the lookout for some more great stuff from him. Of course, our original skull artwork comes from Natsulani on Instagram. Check her out. And if you'd like to help us out, please consider becoming a Patreon patron. We'll let you pick the movies for a future show at any amount. And for $5 or more a month, also pick a commentary for a future bonus show. Or, right now, for a limited time only, give us $1.
Going on 2 months now, but that's okay.
Give us $1. We'll let you pick a commentary. Hell, you
or
can
get
come on the show.
or get a rib. Or get a rib,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, give me $1. You come on the show. You pick the movie. We'll do a commentary with you. How about that?
There you go.
Hook a brother up. On to our featured attractions. We go back to Full Moon features for Puppet Master 2 and Subspecies. We'll get to Subspecies, but first we'll start with Puppet Master 2 from 1990. The puppets return and hunt paranormal researchers in an attempt to take their brain fluid for their master, Andre Toulon.
Is that what was happening?
I think so. Yeah, I was like, oh, I guess that sort of explains it.
Sure.
Director is David Allen, also known for a segment in The Dungeon Master.
I have not seen.
You haven't
Go
seen
ahead.
The Dungeon Master?
I was gonna say I haven't seen Dungeon Master in like 25 years.
Oh man, I got him confused with. I thought you meant David Allen Greer at first. That would have been probably a totally different movie. Men on film or something like that.
Yeah. Hated it. Writers Charles Band, David Pabian, and David Schmoller.
Okay.
Wow. 3 people wrote this movie.
Yeah. We see that a lot, unfortunately.
And then they got a guy to direct it that was known for a segment in The Dungeon Master.
There you go.
The torch puppet that is used for the flame throwing scenes can shoot out a flame as long as 10 feet.
Holy
That
shit.
sounds awesome.
That's
Probably what
pretty
they spent all their money on. I would. The director's chair was filled by animator David Allen, who had supplied the stop motion puppet effects for the original Puppet Master in 1989. This and others in the series. It would be the only completed feature film that he would direct, a personal project. The Primevals remained uncompleted when he succumbed to cancer in 1999. Oh, well. Now I feel bad about talking shit.
Wow.
Sort of. All right. Puppet Master 2. Bede, what'd you think?
Well, I think I should start off by saying I enjoyed the first Puppet Master movie. I would say it was a great film by any means, but it was still a pretty solid and enjoyable film.
Yeah.
But I think what really made that film at least work for me was, of course, the puppets themselves. Like, I think they're all unique designs. They're all memorable characters, and each of them is just really cool. And also there's other aspects of that film that are just so weird that you kind of have to enjoy it on that level. But when it came to the sequel, I got to admit, because it had been a couple of years since I'd seen the original, so I was a bit confused about what was going on at the beginning. So I actually had to go back and read the Wikipedia plot summary of the first film, so I could be like, oh yeah, now I can understand what's going on. But even
because you really need to understand all the dynamics of the first movie to get this.
Exactly. So I sat down to watch it, and at the end of the day, I think the puppets are still one of the best parts of the film, and also the new additions as well, including the little flamethrower puppet.
Right.
And also, there's some really kind of sort of moments, some pretty surprisingly dark moments in there as well that I was had to give the film credit for kind of going there. But
not as dark as The Littlest Reich, though.
Definitely not. Yeah, well, The Littlest Reich is definitely just batshit insane from beginning to end, that film.
Maybe the best Puppet Master movie, though.
Maybe. But I've only ever seen the first two, Littlest Reich and Blade the Iron Cross. Those are the other ones I've seen.
That one is horrible.
Yeah, that one was just really, really boring and very drab. Yeah. But this one, though... Yeah, exactly. This one, though, I wasn't sure what to expect, but honestly, I just found this one a bit dull, to be honest. Like, again, yeah, the special effects are pretty solid, and both the puppetry and the stop motion effects are really cool. But yeah, I just found the story just kind of felt like a little bit of a rehash of the first one, because the first one, it's a bunch of psychics coming to the motel, and now it's just a bunch of paranormal investigators coming to the motel. So they kind of just
the same thing.
exactly the same kind of thing again. And yeah, given like there's a lot of stuff that happens in this movie, I just didn't find that all that interesting or engaging. And yeah, I just found them more on kind of the dull side, to be honest. The performances are kind of like for most part. Although I think Steve Wells, who plays Andre Toulon, like, even though he does look like the Invisible Man in this movie, I think his performance is pretty memorable.
Yeah.
But outside of that, the acting is kind of meh. And yeah, I think on a script level, it's pretty weak. And even though this movie is like under 90 minutes long, it just feels like it just felt a bit too slow and kind of dragged out in parts. Like they were trying to figure out, how to kind of stretch out a plot this fit, and hence why a lot of full moon films are basically no more than an hour these days. But yeah, I just found this one kind of mostly a bit of a bore, to be honest.
All right, Brian, what'd you think?
All right. Now, I am a fan of the Puppet Master series. I own the box set of all the movies. I own the NECA figures of some of the characters.
Well, just because you own it doesn't really mean much.
I know. I'm getting to that.
I'm getting to that.
The original has a special place in my heart because I think I said it before when we did the 1990 Year in Horror review. Like a lot of movies I hold close and dear to my heart because it was like at a time when I was just really getting introduced to horror and going to the VHS store a lot, video store. And that's why I love the original one. But Bede, you are completely 100% correct. This is a rehash of the first movie. I mean, just because you change them to paranormal investigators doesn't make it a brand new story. And I did not
complicated.
I did not care about any of these characters, and I think we spent 75% of the time with these characters and not the puppets. I felt like the puppets were barely in it. The kills were kind of
Yeah.
I mean, the kid that was the kid that got killed by Torch, they didn't even show anything. They just kind of cut to the kid going, ah!
Well, to be fair, it was a kid, so
yeah, I mean,
the early 90s.
I guess, but I just kind of was like, just show me something. I mean,
yeah, get some practicals going in there somewhere.
Right.
I mean, like the one that drills through the guy's head.
yeah,
Sure.
That was all right. That was the best one.
I'm always confused by how the one puppet works, Pinhead.
Okay.
He has
like the main little
the
puppet.
the one with the big hands and the little small head.
Yeah. Okay.
You would
Doesn't
think,
he just strangle people?
Yeah, but he knocks this lady down and then drags her away. I'm like,
right?
Just because you have big hands don't mean you can like drag people away.
Yeah.
You're still a foot and a half tall.
I felt like the size difference. Like sometimes they would pick him up or whatever, and I was like, "Oh, he's bigger than I thought he was."
Right.
I thought Torch was cool. I liked all his effects. That is pretty cool to read that it was actually a puppet built with a blowtorch that shot flames out 10 feet. That's really pretty fucking cool.
No CGI fire there, huh?
Yeah. I kind of wanted more with Blade because just in my memory as a kid, like he was always like the main guy or the main puppet out of all of them, and
that one, yeah.
You don't really see him that much, and then he pops up at the end and he like flies through the air onto somebody's neck and tries to stab him, and then he gets thrown down the the laundry chute or something, but
Right,
somehow
right.
he ends up upstairs before the guy gets there
Sure.
after getting thrown down the
Yeah.
laundry chute. I didn't understand
Maybe
that.
there was a dumb, maybe it was a dumb waiter, and he like pulled the ropes and got up to the top before anybody
Yeah.
else. Right? Come on,
Okay.
you guys are being a little too harsh, man.
I did
Attack somebody on like SNL or something, and it jumps on their face, and they're like, ah!
Right?
I did enjoy when Claude Rains showed up from The Invisible Man.
Yes,
That was
yes.
cool. He was kind
Nazi Claude Rains was great.
yeah. I
He
did.
actually was pretty good, though. I liked him.
Even though it was cheesy looking, I
Uh-huh.
thought the human puppet looking things were kind of creepy with the painted over
Oh, yeah.
eyes.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, very much so.
I thought that looked pretty good. But yeah, it just for me it just spent way too much time with the people, and I did not care. Just like the main actress's brother he can't handle his liquor, and I was like, care. He'll probably be the first one to die, and then he dies. And you didn't give me. Go ahead.
I was going to say, like, that whole subplot with the brother, like, they set that up, like, that relationship between
Right.
them both, and then they kill him off, and for some reason, they have his body on ice, but they don't call the cops.
The cops. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like they're that far away from town. Like, they could have called the cops about this, but they didn't.
And when the guy, the son of the spiritual whatever she was supposed to be, when he shows up and they tell him your mother's missing and my brother died and we got him downstairs, he's not shocked by any of this.
Just another day.
Going on? Yeah, and I didn't need to see his ass later when he jumped out of he's the only one that's able to jump out of Torch's flame fast enough.
There are, however, boobs in this.
Yes, there are. So, I mean, you do get that briefly.
Yes.
Lance, what'd you think?
Yeah.
I'm gonna disagree a little bit with you guys. I actually enjoyed this one more than the first. I really enjoyed the first Puppet Master. First Puppet Master is that one of those that probably like you guys saw over and over and over again on like late night TV shows, and when it would come on Night Flight and when it would come on the midnight movie on TV and stuff like that. So got to see a lot of Puppet Master 1. I think I might have only seen this one once or twice before. But I've got to tell you, man, when you get you get fucking Toulon in there, who what I loved about this movie was the ridiculousness of it. I mean, you get Toulon in there for no fucking reason at all. Like you guys said, he's doing his best Claude Rains impression, literally bandaged up like the Invisible Man.
Yeah, nobody has a problem with it. No one has.
Nobody has a problem with it.
And his bandages look like they haven't been changed in a long time.
Yeah,
and everybody's just talking to him normally.
They're a little gross.
Not only that, but he's over here trying to mac on the young girls and like putting an old phonograph record on and dancing in, and then of course pissing off the other guy so much he's like, may I cut in? And that's your prerogative, sir. It's just like, so fucking cheesy and over the top, and I do love the new puppets, man. I love the design. I absolutely loved the design of the flame shooting puppet with the bullets. I don't know if you guys noticed he had bullets for teeth, and I don't know. I just really enjoyed the overall cheesiness of this. This is one of those movies that I thought was really quite literally so bad it's good. It was really, really bad for all the reasons that you guys say, but just for me, it just scratched an itch for me that I really apparently needed scratched, because I enjoyed every minute of it. Now there was one little part there. You're right. They did do a little quite a bit of character development, which at the beginning I didn't mind so much, but kind of toward the end there it started getting a little soap opera-ish, or it reminded me of that old Saturday Night Live skit, the California ones, where they would all look at the camera and go, "Huh, dude, what? Yeah, And it was very obvious this was all filmed in California. I mean, you could see all the palm trees, and it was that famous hotel on the cliff that all the movies were set in. But I really sometimes you need a little cheese, boys, and this for me this did it. So I really enjoyed it. And I think Toulon completely stole the show. I mean, if that Toulon character hadn't been in there, I probably wouldn't have enjoyed it as much as I did. But he was, so I really had fun.
You see, Phil, this is why you say Nez. This is why I say Lance when I don't know what he's going to say.
Yeah. Well, I can sort of see your point of view because I do kind of like the cheese. I did like Toulon. I thought he was really good in the movie. I mean, I didn't like him, but he was a good villain. You know what I mean?
Sure,
Yeah.
sure.
But if it's going to be in the so bad that it's good category, I'm going to need a whole lot more cheese and a whole lot more puppets. It was Bede, you nailed it. I think it was kind of boring. Like there was some lady getting killed and I was like, wait, which one is this? I don't really care.
Yeah, well, if it was one with the nice tits, that one you remembered. The rest you didn't remember. So I got you.
Well, like compared to the first,
well, they had pretty good implants in 1990.
compared to the first one, I mean, they're like a kill you remember from the first one is what is her the leech lady?
Oh yeah, that was great.
Yeah,
Great.
This one didn't have a standout kill. It was mostly torch burning people.
Well, I guess tunneler, if nothing else, right? Where you give the guy permanent brain damage.
Yeah, and then he gets beat to death with a lamp.
Right.
Well, they're little.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that was kind of the standout kill, honestly, because I mean, yeah, you know, it's cool watching people get toasted, but and I like the design of the puppet, right? You know, the flamethrower and all that. That was pretty cool, especially.
I loved all the designs of the puppets, man.
Yeah, I do. I like the design of all the puppets. They're all pretty creepy and memorable. But yeah, like there's the lady that killed the one with the frying pan, and I was like, all right. That's not very menacing if an old fat lady can kill you. But and I did like the design of the like the full puppets that, you know, obviously were people with makeup on, but still I thought it looked pretty cool.
Creepy looking, right? Like Uncanny Valley. Like I was trying to figure out were they like wax figures or were they people? But then I could see them kind of like moving.
Yeah.
While they were supposed to be sitting still, and I'm like,
pop out or something, and you're like, all right. But it was at least unnerving with the eyes and all. Yeah, I think the story was maybe a little too diluted and maybe convoluted is the right word.
Sure.
And I would have liked to see more puppets and better kills. And had they had that, this would have completely changed this movie for me, which is why I like the original Puppet Master.
Maybe part 3 will bring you guys back in.
Maybe. I don't think I've ever seen it. All right, scores. Bede, 1 to 10.
Out of 10, I'll probably give it about a 4 out of 10. Like I said, I think the puppets once again and the special effects are really cool, and I think the Andre Toulon is a pretty effective villain. And also, yeah, it has some moments in there I was actually kind of surprised by, like the kid getting burnt up, even though you didn't see it. But outside of that, I mean, but compared to the first one, this one's a bit on the boring side.
Well, 4's not horrible. I mean, that's almost halfway. So
he's like the only real actor in the movie. The rest of them were just pretty people.
Yeah.
Who was the real actor?
Toulon.
Oh,
yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, for sure.
I thought you were talking about the kid.
Oh no.
Well, I know the actor who plays the psychic son. I think he's actually the brother of Corbin Burnson. I think.
I can see
I
that.
can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think I remember seeing him in a film we did for the To Be Tuesdays podcast called Double Trouble with the Barbarian Brothers. So I recognized him pretty quickly when he popped up on screen.
Oh my gosh, I have not seen that movie in forever. That's the one where they're like truck drivers and they're trying to do like a comedy movie.
Yeah, exactly. And And one of them's like a thief, and the other one's a cop. And the one who plays the cop, it basically wears like Raiders jerseys throughout the entire movie.
Okay, I know exactly what you're talking about now.
All right, Brian, score.
Not my favorite out of the franchise. Not enough puppets. I really wanted puppets in it. I love the like I said. I recommend if you're a collector, search out the NECA Puppet Master figures. They are extremely detailed. You get 2 of them in a pack, and it's like $30 for the pack, and they got extra little stuff that goes with them. Super cool for any collector. But
does one of them have a flame shooter that shoots 10 feet?
No, I'm sure somebody out there has made that puppet.
I would hope so.
But trying to give me too much of the people and their backstory, like
Sure.
Me and Bede talked about the drunk brother that just kind of went nowhere.
Right.
The only place he went was straight to his death right after he got drunk.
Yeah.
The kills were kind of lacking for me, so
a bit lame.
I don't usually give low scores out, but I have to give this like a 4.
Okay. Again, I mean, you're almost to halfway, so that's not that bad.
All right, Lance, you loved it, so it's a 4, right?
I didn't love it. I will give it a 6. I mean, I definitely liked it a lot more than I didn't like it, and it was a lot of. I mean, I'm telling you, dude. Out of that 6 points, I would have probably been right with you guys, but two lines performance alone, and the way he had the balls to mac on that young girl, and that one's the dancing scene with the old phonograph record just got me. So
well, I mean, it's not that he had the balls, because she wasn't supposed to be like his wife, like
well, he thought, yeah, he thought she was. I guess she reminded him of his lost wife or something like that. Which you usually see more like in vampire movies, right, or immortal movies or what have you. But I don't know, man. I'll give it a 6. I enjoyed it.
And any new listeners, Lance's 6 is like a regular 8.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a pretty good score. I think that 4 is a pretty generous score for this movie. It's got some good stuff that brings it up, but on the whole,
another Goldmember reference.
I agree. On the whole, Preparation
Right.
H feels good. 4. All right, we'll move on to Subspecies. 1991, moving up a year.
Yes.
See, quality gets better. These students, 3 students get caught in a struggle between a good vampire and his evil brother in the Transylvanian mountains.
Very scary kids.
Director is Ted Nicolau, also known for Terror Vision and Puppet Master versus Demonic Toys. Speaking of Puppet Master.
I remember Terror Vision. Y'all remember that one?
That had some great practical effects in it.
That's an oldie but a goodie, man.
I'd have to look at it to see what it is. Writers are Charles Band and Jackson Barr and David Pabian. Same guys.
Yeah, some familiar names.
Yeah. This was the first American film to be shot in Romania, particularly in the aftermath of the fall of communism in Romania.
Well, that sounds very dangerous.
Yeah.
Like filming in Ukraine right now or something.
The Subspecies minions were originally going to be played by live actors in costume.
Okay.
Director Ted Nicolau thought that the stuntmen were overacting and that it didn't look well overall, so he brought in FX artist David Allen
Oh, God.
to work with the Subspecies stop motion puppets.
And this is what we got.
That's history.
I kind of
David Allen Greer would have done better.
I kind of want to see overacting stuntmen in costumes.
I know,
Right,
me too.
right.
Little demon stuntmen. They're probably jumping around like retards.
Because in the gate, those were people in costumes.
Okay.
Oh, were
The,
they?
the
Work
little the
better.
little yeah, the
It
little
worked better.
minions. It looked better.
All right, Bede. What'd you think of Subspecies?
I gotta be honest, I didn't mind this one, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's definitely not the most original vampire film you're gonna see. Like, I mean, a lot of things that are in this movie we've seen many times before, but I think it has a good bit of atmosphere in it, and I think compared to the acting in Puppet Master 2, I think everyone actually puts in a pretty solid performance in this one, and I think Anders
Definitely try
Hov.
their best.
Yeah, exactly. And I think Anders Hov, who plays the role of Radu, is that
Yeah,
let me just find.
Radu.
Yeah, Radu.
The
The
bad
evil
vampire guy,
vampire.
right?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
yeah. I thought he was
because he's got white pancake makeup all over his face, right?
well. Well, that and also like it's very obvious his look was very modeled on Nosferatu, like
Yeah.
Count Olaf.
Sure.
The fingers.
The fingers.
Yeah, exactly. The fingers, the sort of the face, but with a wig on top. But I honestly thought even with those kind of Nosferatu comparisons, I think he still gave a pretty cool performance. And it's no wonder like they kept. I mean, I haven't seen the other films, but I know he's in
Yeah.
all of them. So he's definitely I can definitely see why they would want to keep bringing him back because he's really good in this film. And I think kind of shooting it on location on Romania definitely gives the film that kind of authentic feel to
Okay.
it, like of that kind of area. And yeah, I just found it quite an enjoyable little movie. Like again, it's not the most original vampire film you're ever gonna see, but yeah, but I did find it enjoyable overall. And I will give credit. Like, it wouldn't be a full moon film if there wasn't like weird stop motion special effects in this movie
Right.
with those little creature things. So,
But it was no Twilight, is what you're saying.
yes, definitely.
Okay.
But but overall, yeah, I kind of enjoyed this one surprisingly. I think this was my first time watching it too, so wasn't sure. I mean, I've heard about it for years, especially even seeing the video cover of it at the video store when I was a kid. So kind of getting around to seeing it for the first time, I just thought, yeah, it's actually a pretty solid little movie. Not great, but an enjoyable one.
All right, Brian, what'd you think?
Yeah, I'm right there with you. First time watch, but I know what is his name, Radu. I know that face. I know the name of the movie.
Not to be confused with Ragu, right?
No. I've definitely like if somebody brings up Subspecies, I know what they're talking about. It's just I never got around to watching this movie or any of the other ones. Nothing new to the story, but I thought, like Bede said, it had good atmosphere. I like the setting in Romania. I thought that added a good touch to it. The castles and stuff like that. I thought his makeup effects were pretty good. Man, did Stefan, was that the brother? Did he get the good deal out of being a vampire? Because
Right.
Yes.
he looks like a regular dude compared to his brother.
I honestly think that Robert Pattinson based his Twilight look on this guy. He looks so much like he looks so much like Edward Cullen in this movie.
Radu,
At least he didn't look like Tom Cullen, and that's Moon. That spells Tom Cullen.
Radu, I think his makeup effects look pretty cool. Even though I think those hands are completely useless to grab anything. They do look creepy.
Flopping around with
them. I do like the little effects, like when he gets caught, like sucking on someone's neck, and someone walks in. That little part of his shadow backing out into the moonlight.
And they did it twice.
Yeah, but I liked it. I liked it. It kind of added to his little vampire lore or whatever. Lance, you get boobs because they got a girl chained up and they conveniently have nipples out every time they cut to her. So, but yeah, basic story. They're trying to they're battling over power over the fucking bloodstone or whatever the hell's going on, and they want to kill Radu, but they somehow have never got to, even though the old man at the end says, I'm just going to go to his castle and open up his coffin and shoot the shotgun with rosary beads into his chest. And I'm like, why are you waiting so long to do it?
Yeah, he was like, I know where he sleeps. And I was like, well, why the fuck didn't you do something about this earlier?
But overall, I did enjoy this. Definitely enjoyed this a lot more than Puppet Master 2. I kind of want to check out the other movies to see, because like I said, I know this has a cult following, especially like looking on the internet and stuff. There's a lot of fans of these movies, so I definitely want to check out more. And yeah, I kind of had a good time for a first time watch. I wasn't really expecting much out of it, but pretty decent little vampire flick.
All right. Lance, what'd you think?
So can you guys explain to me what this bloodstone is? Because it's like, it seems like they're always sucking on it and getting blood out of it, but it's like a never-ending source of blood?
Got to suck the blood out of the bloodstone and then transfer it into the lady. I don't know.
But why then, if the bloodstone has an unlimited amount of blood, do you even need to suck on necks?
Because he wanted to suck on some. I don't know.
You know what?
I think. You know what? No, I think you guys are insane to say this is better than Puppet Master 2. Man,
Lance is back.
This is garbage.
Lance is back, everybody.
This was really bad. I mean, you want to talk about a horrible soap opera that has no action in it whatsoever?
Soap opera.
Jesus Christ, guys. Come on, seriously? You get these three chicks that are like on a road trip or whatever, and one of them's, what kind of bizarre, Eastern European accent was that anyway? And how did she end up with him? And the other two were like American Barbie girls or whatever, and then I don't know, man. The bloodstone thing just totally took me out of it, because it's all kidding aside. If you've got a bloodstone that has that power, why not just? I'm really confused. Maybe the other movies will clear it up for us or whatever. And then the way that Radu did look like a fucking Nosferatu with all the makeup and shit and the long fingers, and then this other dude is his brother. He can fucking come out during the day. He looks like a human. He looks like fucking James Dean or something like that.
I'm thinking about it now. Didn't they say there was a difference between like vampire? There's good vampires and bad vampires.
I hate it even more.
Maybe he Radu. Maybe he kills innocent people, and he's so evil that evil has morphed him into what it is now.
Right, Brian. Just the fact that you're saying maybe proves my point right there. The movie didn't explain enough at all.
Well, the good vampire, his mother was human.
See?
You got the Blade complex going on.
Yeah, and Radu was the child of an evil witch that his father
there you go. See, everything is explained.
Everything's coming together now.
And also, I mean, I'll have to watch the other films to find out how exactly the bloodstone works. But what I gathered from the film is basically like vampires had not fed on the villagers because they have had the bloodstone. So I guess what I gathered from the film is that with one sip of the bloodstone, like that kind of quenches the thirst. But if you take too much of it, then you'll be driven to want to get more blood. Hence what
very much like drugs. Poison.
Yeah, very much like drugs. So it's not only that the bloodstone is not enough to quench the thirst. Then Radu goes and starts chowing down on the villagers.
Okay.
You see, Bede, Lance doesn't like the bloodstone because it was in a Werewolf by Night, and he didn't like Werewolf by Night.
I liked it. I just didn't love it as much as you guys all did.
Yeah, but when you say that, then you're giving it a score of like 5 or something like that.
Yeah, well, all right. So anyway, I'm a little bored with this movie. Philip, what do you think, man?
You know what? I kind of agree with you, Lance. Okay, so the movie starts out and the guy starts like breaking his fingers off, right? The tips of his fingers, and they fall down, and it's super gross, and they have great practical effects on it. It's oozing stuff out. It gets a little goofy with the ooze because it looks kind of computer animated there for a minute, which is in 1991 was not awesome.
Yeah.
But
They
then
were using TRS 80s.
yeah. Then the
playing the Oregon Trail.
Yeah. the old Max. But then the little demon guys pop up, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh,
That was so bad.
It's
that
one
was
of
the worst
these.
animation. That's another thing I didn't mention, guys. The demons, the little.
There was no
horrible.
reason
It's
for them to be there.
No, they just look but even if there was, they just look superimposed over everything else. It's not even like a really, really good Ray Harryhausen movie that would have come out 20 or 30 years earlier. It's just bad. But that's me.
Yeah, you thought you were getting Ray Harryhausen?
If Ray Harryhausen had been involved in this film, I think it would have been a lot better.
Well, I was kind of disappointed by the little demon guys doing the stop motion thing. I mean, there's times when that's awesome, and it's in really super cheesy horror movies.
When it's done well.
Yeah, and there's like lots of blood and guts and cool kills and stuff like that.
Or when it's like a gorilla with a space helmet on.
Yeah. But I feel like it felt out of place in this movie because this movie felt like a made for TV vampire soap opera.
Ooh. Yeah, they didn't bother me as much. I mean, they're completely horrible, but if they were in the, like we were talking about the Gate, if they were in the movie as much as those demons were in the Gate, then this movie would have just completely been unwatchable to me.
Unwatchable.
Yeah.
And Phil, they did serve a purpose. They had to drop the net on Stefan later in the movie.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Little weird demons. And then there's a scene where the good vampire guy is talking to the main girl, and like he brushes her face, and she's does the whole soap opera thingy. It was all right. I thought the Romanian set was pretty cool.
I have a quick question. Any of you guys have seen Castle Freak, right?
Oh sure, and the remake. I really enjoyed.
Is this the same setting as the original? It kind of reminded me.
I don't know. I thought Castle Freak wasn't that? I mean, I could be completely wrong, so forgive me if I am. But wasn't that set in Italy though, not in Romania?
Okay. Possibly, but I mean, it's still. I kind of had the same atmosphere though. I think is what Brian is getting at. But Castle Freak, was that also a full moon feature?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the remake. I thought that was pretty well done.
Yeah,
the one that came out a couple of years ago. But
it wasn't bad.
I see what Brian means by the vibe.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I didn't completely hate it. I thought the setting was really cool. I liked the storyline. It was sort of a classic vampire Nosferatu thing. The guy's makeup looked great until he lifted his head and you could see like his skin.
You could see the flesh-colored skin.
You know what I mean? It's like
I noticed that too.
One of those ladies that wears way too much makeup and her face is a different shape than her neck.
Like Tammy Ray Faye or whatever her name is.
But aside from that, I thought it was cool. I like the long fingers. They do seem kind of useless, but
kind of creepy. Useless, yeah.
So I think the story, there was something there, and maybe it just was. Maybe they didn't have enough budget to really execute it the way that they probably.
You got at least 4 more movies to find out, so we'll see.
Oh yay! All right, scores. Bede, what'd you think?
I'm going to give this one a 6 out of 10. Like I said, it's not the most original vampire film you're going to see, but for what it is, I found it quite enjoyable. Like, yeah, definitely the low budget kind of hinders it, but I could imagine the sequels might be a little bit better. If not, maybe they're still the same budget, but hopefully they're kind of a little bit more ambitious with their storytelling. But for this first one, though, yeah, I thought it was pretty solid overall.
Nice.
Brian?
Straightforward vampire story. Makeup effects was okay. I did like the atmosphere and the setting. The little demon things, they didn't bother me just for the fact they're only in a few scenes, but they're completely horrible. I still want to see overacting stuntmen in costumes moving
Oh,
around.
yeah. I'd watch that movie.
I'm gonna give
I
this
hope they
one.
dance.
I am gonna continue with the series just because I'm curious to see how it got to 5 movies, or about to be 5 movies with the new one coming out.
I'm sure we will too, Brian, since you write the schedule. What do we want to?
I'm going to give this a 5.5.
Nice. That's good, man. You guys are not bad. Not bad. We're on a roll here.
All right, Lance, bring us down.
Yep.
3. It's a 3.
Ooh.
It's no, that's not that bad. I mean, it's a third. It's almost a third good. So, no, it's not a good movie. Not a good movie at
batting
all.
average in baseball.
No, it's really, really, really bad. It's bad because you've got the one. I can't get over the stupid little creatures. I can't get over the makeup. How vastly different the makeup is on both characters. The old man was kind of funny. He was kind of cool. The one that was, like you said, shooting anal beads out of a shotgun. Is that what you said? Oh, no,
Sure.
wait. Never mind.
Lance.
You said religious beads or whatever.
Why can't they be both?
Sure. Well, ask any priest. But no, I mean, yeah, it was. Did I just get us canceled again? No,
I'm pretty sure you're allowed to make fun of that.
Not great, guys, not great.
All right, I'm gonna go with the same score as Puppet Master 2 and give it a 4. I think there's definitely some redeeming qualities in here, but I don't plan on watching this movie again in the near future.
We weren't worlds apart then, guys, on either of them. So.
And I think we'll get an explanation on the Bloodstone, because I'm looking. The sequel is titled Bloodstone. Subspecies 2.
See, and I feel like had I watched this when it first came out, I have never seen this before until now. But I feel like had I watched it when I was younger, maybe it would have a nostalgia effect. And, sometimes that makes bad movies seem a whole lot better than they are.
Absolutely. Just ask Pedro.
Yeah.
Bede, thanks for coming on, dude. Where can everybody find you?
Yeah, well, thanks for inviting me back on, guys. It's always fun to be on the show, as always. Yeah, well, if people want to find me, they can find me on Twitter at twitter.com/Bede Jermyn. And you can also find all the podcasts of the Super Network on all podcast streaming services everywhere. All the shows I co-host with Super Marcy, like the To Be Tuesdays podcast, which we also do with Mike Batchelor, also Podcasters of Horror, the Ozploid Cast, the King Zone podcast, and of course the Super podcast. A lot of those shows are going to be back very soon. Some of them have been on hiatus at the moment, but those ones will be back very soon. And also people can check out my solo podcast, Bede vs. the Living Dead, on all podcast streaming services everywhere, and follow the official Twitter account for that at twitter.com/BedeVSTLD.
Yes, Evil Dead movies I'm sorry, Living Dead movies that none of us knew existed until you brought us into that universe. So we appreciate that.
When's Marcus going to get a podcast?
Well, Marcus will definitely work
does
on
a lot of writing. He's so busy writing.
Well, Marcus says not only has he been doing a lot of great writing for the site, he has appeared on episodes of the shows, including mine, and I believe he will be coming back on Bede vs. the Living Dead very soon, so you'll have to stay tuned for that.
We will. And a special announcement, Nez and I will both be at Texas Frightmare Weekend. We'll at least be there Friday. What happens after that, I'm not sure because of family obligations and things like that. But if you are going to be attending Texas Frightmare and you listen to this, look for us Friday, man. I'll be the one carrying around a backpack full of the koozies that we were supposed to send to our listeners 3 months ago. And
if you didn't get one, it's because Lance handed them out at Texas Frightmare.
No, this is not a joke, and this is not a test. I literally will be mailing the first batch out this week. So And they'll go in 2 batches, not the original 3. So if you're a Patreon supporter, you will within the next 2 to 3 weeks be receiving koozies, and that's a promise. Unlike our remake of the the Fanatic that we still haven't gotten around to, which we promised 3 years ago now, Bede, 2 years ago.
Yeah, indeed.
I'm not
The
sure
script,
how that happened.
Marcy has a
Yeah.
script, so we don't even have to worry if she goes on a writer's strike.
It happened through the pandemic. We were all losing our minds, and then
It's
we
like
were
we're
like,
doing what
let's remake the Fanatic.
All right.
Yes.
Well, we'd like to thank you guys for all listening to another episode of The Horror Returns. You can find us at thehorrorreturns.com and rate us and review us, whether it be Apple Podcast or Spotify or whatever you use to listen to us. We appreciate that. Consider becoming a Patreon patron. It's very easy. Just go to our Patreon page. Just I guess Google Patreon and type The Horror Returns, and you can't miss us. And next week, we're going to be continuing a Psycho retrospective, which makes me wonder if Bede or anyone from Super Network will be with us.
Indeed. I guess people just have to stay tuned to find out if we may or may not be on that episode.
But we're going to cover Psycho 3 and 4. So, Brian, until The Horror returns again.
Good night.